I see that you have a listing on here on Crexy that I'm looking at. I believe it's on Greenwood Avenue, 8 units. Is that your listing?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm an investor looking to buy some property in the area. I see that it's been on the market for 21 days. What can you tell me about this property and the seller? Why are they selling?
You know, he's owned it for a number of years. I think he's looking at retiring and no, he's
Okay,
just
so
moving on.
so the seller's moving on, and he's listed it. Um, I see it was built in 63. I'm interested in making an offer on that, and I see that the market rents are currently 1100 to 16, and you think that they could go to 1650. Is that, am I reading the info correctly?
That is correct.
Okay, so what, why hasn't the seller gone ahead and raised the rents if it's worth 1650? Maybe it must need work or something.
Yeah, probably, they're in classic condition, the units.
Oh, so you've been there to see the property?
No, I haven't, but that's what I'm being told is that they're more in, vintage condition.
I see. So, when somebody moves out, there might be a little bit of turnover, but you don't have any more information about the condition of the property.
I think that they're all in decent condition, just dated.
Okay. Well, uh, is the seller like ready to move? Like, if we can make the deals, the numbers work, like how quickly are they ready to move forward?
I think the seller would be open to moving quickly.
Okay. Well, I'd like to give you an offer. However, the asking price for the current rent rates is outside of my range of reality. Is the seller willing to entertain an offer that's a little more in line with creating cash flow for the new buyer?
What did you have in mind?
Well, I got to be able to make money on the deal. And as it stands now, with the cost of money, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Well, I think that the seller would be open. I don't think the seller's desperate or anything, but
Hmm.
no.
Okay. Um, I see the OM, it has the current rents, but I'm not seeing the actual income and expenses. I'd like to be able to get the income and expenses, and I can get you a couple of different offers based on the way we like to make offers. Is that something you can get to me so I can make an offer?
Yeah, I think I can get you something that it might just be a P&L for last year. Would that
Yeah, the
work?
T12.
I'll see if we can find a T12.
Well, I can make a firm offer, but I'm going to have to see the income and the expenses from the property. Otherwise, I'm shooting in the wind, and I'll have to make
Yeah.
assumptions that aren't in y'all's favor.
Okay.
Yeah. So is that something you can get to me quickly, or are you going to have to reach out to the seller about that?
Um, I'm probably gonna have to reach out to the seller and see what he can get, but I hope to have it quickly.
Okay. So I like to make offers a couple different ways. Or have you seen people do that before? Send you an offer for cash and then a couple offers for seller financing?
I have not.
Would that be something you'd be open to entertaining? Because I'd like to make an offer on this and maybe anything else you have in the area that meets our criteria.
Yeah, I really haven't talked to my client about it. Well, I'd probably have to check with him and see how he feels about it.
So if he's owned it for a long time, he may not have a big mortgage on it, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what he owes on it. It might be free and clear.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
know.
if that's something you could confirm, find out what his financing situation is now, I'll be able to tailor my offer to get him the most he can for his property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I'll check with him and see if he's open to that and see if I can find out if there's any debt on the property.
Okay. So takeaways are getting the T12 with rent and expenses, and then understanding the financing situation. I can get you an offer within a day or two after you get the information back to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Appreciate your time.
Okay. So, man. Paul,
You guys have-
Paul has a very different way of doing it, right? Like he eased his way into owner financing, as if like, yeah, but why wouldn't you accept it, right? Like everyone does. Why wouldn't you? Yeah. So, I liked it. I haven't heard that kind of approach really before. So, uh, did he get the information that he knew what he needed, right? So for him to know any more, but like, do I even want to write an offer on this property? There's still some questions that need to be answered, right?
Right.
Yeah. Is he open to a discount? Not quite sure yet. Is he open to terms? Not quite sure. Do we even know what the NOI is? Not necessarily, right? So, we've got to make sure that we understand that we get the information that we need, or else we just wasted that whole
Right.
phone call,
Yep.
right? So Paul knew where he wanted to go with this. He had a direction, and that's what I'm trying to help you with, Patrick, is that you've got to have like a plan. And is it 100% that that's the way it'll go? No, I mean, you're interacting with someone else. You got to be able to think a little bit on your feet, but there is still a plan, right? If we don't know the numbers, how do we make an offer? How do we know if this is even a
Yeah.
potential deal? So
Yeah, that's what I say.
what would you do, Paul, if you don't hear from him? Like, when would you follow up?
2 days.
2 days. And that follow up would be, how would that go?
Hey, I asked you about the NOI T12 and the data about the property. Have you got any information back on the seller on that?
Yeah.
Because I'm prepared to make an offer, but right now I'm just guessing.
Yep. So certainly one way that you could approach this, and there was nothing. Yep. Paul, did you study? Did you put in any numbers beforehand? Did you
Nope.
do any calculations?
Nope.
You probably want to know, hey, why, how are the rents going up $550 per unit, right?
Yep. Yep.
Like,
Right.
how is that happening? And
Yeah, I probably should ask a little more about that now that I think about it.
and it probably comes down to condition, is my guess,
Yeah.
right? So the property probably needs some work.
It's in vintage condition.
Well, you hear that, right? Vintage,
Yeah, all the
classic.
time.
And that's their way of saying, yeah, it's no one's done anything to it for quite a while. So
It's still from the 70s. Yeah.
yeah, it might have pink bathtubs. So but what questions what questions do you have, Patrick, that or Leo for that matter, that would be helpful for Paul?
Oh, for me, well, he nailed it right at the beginning about like the expenses with the T12 and everything. So that's what I was asking for as well too. Because that's very important, because we were all have been told that, NOIs, they don't put the exact
There is no NOI.
yeah,
Yeah. None on this one.
No.
not on this one, yeah. So
Sometimes they provide it, and then you ask them how real is it.
Right. Yeah. Do you have something where I can look to verify the NOI? I can see an itemized breakdown of the expenses.
I totally use Jeff's line is, if I don't have the expenses, I'm gonna make assumptions that I don't that aren't in your favor. I love that line.
Yeah, and it's true, right?
Yeah.
If we have to guess, I'm guessing on my end, not your end. I'm not
Yeah.
not giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Yep. So do you want to switch it around? So I'll
Yeah.
be the
Yeah, I just want to see, Leo, did you have any questions?
No, not really. I was really enjoying this kind of role playing, and it definitely it's actually motivating me right now that this week I have to start making calls and then hitting the ground running. So if you don't
Yeah.
mind, please reverse the role and let's see.
Yeah, no problem.
all right, ring ring.
Hi, is this Connor?
This is Bill.
Oh, Bill. Who's Bill?
Bill's the listing broker.
He is?
I'm Bill and I'm the listing broker. Bill
Well,
Peterson.
I don't see. Oh, there he is. Oh, never mind. Hey, Bill, how you doing? My name's Jeff Rappaport.
Doing great. How can I help you?
Calling about your listing on Greenwood Avenue in Atlanta. Is that property still available?
Yes. Last I heard, it's still available. It was listed, if I recall, about 2, 3 weeks ago.
Yep. Do you have a couple minutes? I'd love to chat, see if we might be a good fit for one another.
Yeah. What's your interest?
Well, before I get into my interest, let me tell you a little bit about me and my company, what we do. We buy properties all over the country. We focus on apartments, RV mobile home parks, strip malls, medical office, and yep, we buy properties one of two ways, cash or terms. And if we're going to cash you out, it's got to make sense where we're going to bring in harder private money and then refinance into bank rates. We've still got to be able to cash flow. I think you would understand that, right?
So yeah, you're buying lots of properties, it sounds like.
Yep.
And you're looking for somebody who can sell quickly.
We're always looking for opportunities, right? Yeah, obviously, if we're going to cash you out, it's got to make sense for both parties. And if we're going to do that, we've got to be able to cash flow with after putting down 20, 25, 30% and getting bank finance. I think anyone would want that, don't you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How can I help you?
Well, the other way would be is that we buy properties on terms. Actually, we've done most of our deals in the last 6, 8, 9 months on terms where we can actually pay retail or asking, maybe even more, provide some different benefits to the seller, just pay them out over some time. Do you think that either of those options would be something that would work for your client?
I honestly don't know. They seem pretty bent on their listing price, and I don't know if they're open to terms. I'm not even sure exactly what you mean when you're saying you do terms.
Owner finance, where we just pay him out. We'd pay him some money up front. We'd pay him monthly, just like he's getting right now. There'd be some tax benefits due to him. The longer he spreads out the owner financing, the longer he gets to spread out his tax consequence. Any idea on how long he's owned this property?
Yeah, since the early, like he's owned it since it was built.
So he's depreciated it completely. He's going to have a pretty significant tax bill when he sells the property.
Yeah, he'll have to recapture all of his depreciation.
Yeah. So with owner finance, he's only paying taxes based on money that he's receiving. So it's called an installment sale. And so he can spread that out rather than pay it all next year in one lump sum to Uncle Sam. He can spread that out over whatever term that we agree to and continue to make money on his asset, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've never really done any of those before, so I'm not really sure how it works.
Okay. Well, it might be something to check with your client about, because if so, we might be able to provide several different options, different offers that he can choose from, see what he likes, shorter term, longer term, more down payment, smaller down payment. But basically he'd get a stream of income just like he is right now. And he'll end up getting more for the property if he goes that route.
Okay, well, I just need to know details.
All right. Do you have any idea? Is there any debt on the property, or is it free and clear?
I don't know. My guess is that it's free and clear. I'd have to
Okay.
check with I have no idea.
Okay. Well, that's kind of that's our buying criteria. We buy a lot of properties, and that's the way that we're able to do it. And in a market where financing is still on the high end, and we're kind of in an instability time frame in the commercial realm, that this allows us to pay a lot of times asking price, or certainly close to it, when a lot of times that you're probably getting much lower offers to get cashed out. So if you want to pass that by, when would be a good time to check back with you and see if it's even a possibility?
Well, I have a scheduled call with the seller on Friday, so I will ask him if he's open to seller financing.
Okay.
What else should I ask him? I'm not sure what I should ask him.
Basically, if he would entertain some different kinds of offers, where we pay him out over some time, just like he's getting monthly installments now with rents, except that he doesn't have to do anything with the property. He has no liability with it. He doesn't have to worry about tenants and vacancy and maintenance and repairs. He just gets a check. He becomes the bank. Tell him we want to make him Wells Fargo for a few years, and it'll
Okay.
help in terms
I'll tell
of,
him. I'll tell him they'll be Wells Fargo. Maybe that'll work.
yeah, and tell him that it'll help with his tax consequence as well. And I'm not asking for any kind of commitment. I just want to know if he's open to it, and we'll present some
Mhm.
offers and see what he thinks.
Well, if we do a seller financing situation, is there's still a listing broker's commission?
Yep, the commission will be paid just as if it was cashed out.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
And is there anybody representing you?
No, no one's representing me. So we have some flexibility in terms of, either commission or, allowing you to get paid more, whatever the case may be, to help push something along.
Okay. So I'll talk to him on Friday. And is this your best number to call you back?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Do you have any other listings that potentially this could work on?
Yeah, potentially. So you're talking about you want to do other properties that the seller would want to do seller financing?
Hey, if you have people that are interested in moving their property, potentially getting their price, and doing it on the quicker side, then and they're open to this, I'd be happy to look at whatever the deal is. And
So what needs to be true for them, do you, in your experience, for that to be a good candidate?
that they're flexible.
Got it. Okay.
That's really it. We're not coming with that. We've got certain buying criteria that we have to meet. We're a numbers company, right? So we work with all kinds of funds, high net worth investors as private and hard money lenders, joint venture partners. We have access to lots of money and lots of people all over the country, but they all expect certain returns. And so if we can show them how we can get to those returns, then we pretty much have a deal. And so if we can work with the seller and, our returns work for them as well, it's a win-win situation, then it's pretty easy for us to put together offers and put together deals and get them done.
So are you the buyer then?
I am the buyer. Yep.
Got it. So you'll be on title when you close on the deal.
I'm not sure if it'll be me or some new entity, whether I'll be the majority owner, the minority owner, but yes, more than likely I will be involved in that whole process.
And when you're submitting the offer, you obviously have a proof of funds to show that you're able to buy, right?
We certainly can do that, but as you can probably tell, the goal is that I don't really have any idea where that money's coming from yet until I know what we can structure. And once I know, then I will start putting, I will let my investment community know what's going on and determine who will, either be my lender or my partner. However we're going to do it, I will go to my potential funds and or family offices and have conversations with them. And then if you need proof of funds, I'm happy to show it. I
And
don't,
so how quickly can you close once we come to terms and we say this works out, how quickly is the closing for you?
it really depends on the financials and what exactly the asset is and where it is. So, if I can get all the financials and I can make sense out of them pretty quickly, then we probably could close in 60 days or less. If it's more of a mess, it could take up to 75, 90 days, depending on, how much sense we got to make out of the financials. Do we have to do a full-blown inspection, or are we just going to walk the property? It really just depends on what kind of property it is, where it is, what kind of condition is it in, and then
Okay.
how are the sellers able to get us financials? How quickly? How complete are they, or incomplete are they? We can deal with either, but some take longer than others.
Okay. So it sounds like I need to check with this particular seller, and then do you have like a website or any kind of references or a LinkedIn page or something that you can send me so I can know who I'm talking to?
Sure.
Yep. Do you have my email address?
Why don't you give it to me?
Yep. It's billpeterson@gmail.com.
All right. And what would a credibility packet help?
That'd be great. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Whatever is involved in that, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I'm happy to send that over.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. And Bill, just so you know, we're not looking at working together on one deal. We're looking to create a relationship with brokers. We've done multiple deals with many brokers across the country. So we're always looking for people that understand what we're looking for and, are able to convey that to their clients. So if that's something that you think can work, I'd love to stay in touch with you and see if we can do some business together.
Okay, great. I'll look forward to that credibility kit, and I'll talk to the client on Friday and see what happens.
Perfect. I appreciate your time.
You bet. Take care.